everyone, hope you're well. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a bit of a sit down chatty video. I don't do enough of these, I really need to do more of these, and it's going to be all about skin to skin contact and my experiences. So I'm doing this in collaboration with Water Wipes, who have a really lovely video over on their channel called Pure Love, and I am not an emotional person at all, but even the music just got me. I was like, oh my goodness. I think it's because it's something as mums we can all kind of relate to, and oh, it just got me, it really got me. But it basically follows 3 new mums and it's all about skin to skin and the benefits of it. So they did a little experiment where the babies were swaddled up and then placed on the mums, and their heart rate, breathing, temperature and oxygen levels were all monitored. And when the babies were swaddled and placed on mum, the readings were all over the place and the baby wasn't really settling. And then they let the mum do skin to skin with the baby, and it was really quite eye-opening to see all the observations go really level and just the babies be more settled. Because I know people bang on about skin to skin all the time, and before you have the baby in antenatal classes and everything they talk about it a lot, but to actually see some evidence behind it other than just your own experiences was really lovely to see, and it just warmed my heart. It was really nice. So yeah, I had 2 very different experiences with my 2 babies. Isla I had 3 years ago, and it was about an 18-hour labour in total, and it wasn't that bad, but you know, labour's no walk in the park. And with her, I was pushing for about 2 hours, and it got to the point where they got doctors in and they were talking about helping and intervention. I really didn't want that, but there was a reason in the end why it took me so long to get her out. Basically, she was born with a really large swelling on her neck called a cystic hygroma, where basically the lymph nodes haven't formed properly and fluid drains out into bits that it shouldn't. So yeah, when I was pushing her with a really big thing on her neck, she was kind of getting stuck. So yeah, my skin to skin experience with her was a bit all over the place, because once I had her, the room was full of people anyway, and the room was so cold because I'd had such a long and hot labour. It was really hot, it was a hot day, and I just wasn't feeling great, and I kept being sick, and I was just really uncomfortable, so the room was freezing. So when I had her, she was wrapped in a towel immediately, because obviously it was too cold to just have her out naked. She did get handed to me at first, and I tried to feed her and that didn't work, and I kind of had half skin to skin where she was on me with a towel sort of over her rather than completely wrapped up. But then when I was trying to feed her, they noticed the cystic hygroma, and it was a bit of a panic, and she got past the midwives, then past to Rob while they were calling the doctors, and it was just, nobody really knew what it was. So basically, as I was getting seen to afterwards, after the birth, like all the jazz that happens after that, I didn't have her on me. She was with Rob and then with the midwives and then eventually with the doctors, trying to figure out what they were going to do. So we didn't really have a great skin to skin start, to be honest, and that was nobody's fault. Like, it was just one of these medical things that you can't really control, and that's fine. But I felt a little bit like, oh, and feeding didn't go well with her at all. And I wasn't aware of it sounds so silly looking back on it as a second time mum now, but first time around I didn't actually realise skin to skin was just this thing I thought that was immediately after birth. I didn't really think about doing it at home, and it sounds silly, nobody should have had to tell me it was okay to do, but I just didn't, to be honest. And also it was the hottest summer ever. It was so hot down here in 2014 that it was just sweaty and sticky, and we were always really uncomfortable, and we always had all the windows open in the house, and it was still too hot. So I guess the last thing we wanted to do was actually have like full-on sweaty skin to skin with our baby. It's a bit of a shame. Rob did have skin to skin with her as well. I think that was sort of after, if I'm trying to remember correctly, after the doctors had seen her and she wasn't settling, that's what it was, and I was in a lot of pain and that. So the midwife in the hospital and the postnatal bit suggested he like popped her in her top, and yeah, that worked, and he really liked that, so that was nice. With Lachlan it was really different. So his birth was super quick. I got my waters broken as kind of an induction thing, and then contractions came really quickly, and then I got on the pool, and I think within 20 minutes I had him. I was only pushing for, yeah, about 15-20 minutes. Had him in the pool. So obviously straight away skin to skin in the pool, because I was in the bikini and he was obviously naked because he'd just been born, and I was holding him. I was a bit overwhelmed, and a bit, because it was so fast, I had a bit more adrenaline going through me, and I was really shaky and sick. But I did get that initial proper skin to skin and was holding him, and then his cord got cut in the pool, and then eventually he was passed to Robert, who then had skin to skin again as well. Robert loves a bit of skin to skin. And then as I was getting out the pool, as soon as I was up on the bed and they were seeing to me again, and I got the injection and whatever else, he got passed back to me, and again lots of lovely skin to skin. Tried to feed him again. I had issues with feeding, but 7 months on, he's 7 months old now, we're feeding, we're exclusively breastfeeding still, but we had a really rough start, but that's a different story. There's videos on that if you fancy looking at that. But yeah, I had him on me for ages, and even when they were sort of and everything, he was still there, and then it was just really lovely. lovely, and there was no rush to get out of the delivery room. We were just there, we had food in there. My friend who was doing birth photography for us was there, and she was just part of the whole thing. It was just nice. It was really nice, even though I felt so sick. Then eventually he got put in a hot pod thing because he was too cold and his temperature wasn't coming up even with the skin to skin. So that was that. But we had that really lovely start, and then I was in hospital postnatally for 5 days trying to get feeding established. So there was a lot of skin to skin going on there. The midwives were trying to help me get him to latch. There was lots of just getting him completely naked and just under my top and just snuggling for ages, which was really lovely. In the end, it didn't really help with breastfeeding for me, just because we had other issues, but skin to skin is such a great thing for breastfeeding because it kind of apparently encourages that hormone and gets all your milk going and everything like that. So that's a really good thing about it. Other good things about skin to skin is obviously some psychological things. So for you, you're bonding with your baby straight away, and I didn't really get that initial rush of love and oh my goodness, this is my baby and I love them so much. So I needed a bit of bonding time. I needed more sort of being like, oh my goodness, yes, you're mine and I love you, but I need to get to know you. And skin to skin really helped with that. We did a lot of that when we got home as well, just again trying to establish freedom. But we did lots of skin to skin at home. Lachlan also suffers from silent reflux, so he's very hard to settle. So skin to skin was a lifesaver sort of in the middle of the night by myself because my husband was deployed, just trying to settle him. So yeah, we did a lot of skin to skin. And I think other psychological things, it's great for the baby. They get very settled when they're on you. You can regulate their temperature really well, so they just feel more comfortable with you. As the experiment in the water wipes video showed, it helps baby so much. And yeah, I can't really stress enough how lovely a thing it is, and I feel like it needs to be talked about a little bit more in your antenatal classes and things, to say that it's not just an initial straight after birth. That is great, that is perfect, that kind of helps everything, but you can carry on and you can do it at home, and you can just build up your confidence as a mum or dad, just being able to get to know your baby better and get to know what helps them settle, because at the end of the day that's what we're trying to do as parents, is just keep them happy. But the video I found was just so lovely, and it's making me feel emotional thinking about it. It was just the bit where they say like, you're all, oh my God, I'm not even an emotional person and it's getting to me. It's when the bit comes up and it says you're already all they need, and just I've had a really rough ride with Lachlan the past 6 months, and I kind of need to remind myself that quite a lot, because a lot of the time I don't feel like I'm enough and I don't feel like I'm what he needs. So yeah, thanks water wipes, thanks for kind of trying to make me feel better as a mom. But yeah, I would love to hear about your skin to skin experiences, bad or good or whatever else. Pop your stories below in the comments. I always love reading them and I try to respond to everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's a bit of a different one for me, but I will try and do more sit down chatty ones soon. It's just time, really. Thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you soon. Bye.